Everyone able to see my screen?
Yeah, sir.
So now we need to do for the parameterization, right? So already we did or not. So we can check for the we did or not means you can click on parameters and we are able to see the what we did, what we not did. I think this is not our script yesterday one. What will be this? Okay. Now this is our script. Okay. For here you can observe username password we did for the yesterday. So you can go to the parameters. What are the we did? Password, username. So for here, these are the parameter types. And as same to the we have the parameter properties also we have. So what are the properties? Nothing but sequential, random, unique is the properties. What are there? Sequential, random, unique.
Random, unique.
And going to the here each iteration, each occurrence, and one's property. So what is the sequential each iteration? First point. Nothing but sequential each iteration, nothing but every user has to pick the first data point. Every user has to pick the first data point. Each iteration, nothing but it update for the every iteration. See, for example, I will show you. Okay. So we have the usernames and passwords. Okay. Assume this is the usernames. You are nothing but username, and this is the password. Okay. Password. Assume. So we have the this is the username and password. For here we have the assume 1, 2, and 3, and 4 is the usernames. Okay. And password will be assume just a sample I am telling. Okay. B and C and D. Now we are doing for the what is the property sequential each iteration. So I told what is the sequential, nothing but every user has to pick the first data point. First data point means these are the users. What is the first data point?
1.
A. No. This is the user. This is the users.
Okay.
What is the first data point? A.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is the data points. So first one will be sequential, nothing but every user has to pick the first data point. Means first user pick the A, then second user also pick the A, and third user also pick the A, fourth user also pick the A. So first iteration time means first execution time it will happen like this, and second iteration is going. Then what will happen? So first user will be second time what will pick 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. And we have the A and B and C and D is there. So this is the second time. Okay. Second iteration time. So already A used. So what is the sequential stand for every user fixed it first data point? Already A done, right? So then it will pick for the B, and it is sequential, right? It will be 2 also pick the B, and 3 also pick the B, and 4 also pick the B. So same way I can assume third iteration which one is pick? C. Fourth iteration? D. So means sequential, nothing but that is the sequential. Every user has to pick the first data point, and each iteration, nothing but every time it is a values will be updating. So you can observe first time will be A, it's picking, second time B, and third time C, and fourth time D. Means every time will be user updating because we are using for the each iteration property. And sequential, nothing but every user has to pick the first data point. So now we'll observe here also we can possible for the simulate is there. So I am doing for the sequential each iteration. Click on simulate, and number of iterations will be 5, 4. Okay, and number of users also 4, and click on simulate. Now you can observe user 1 pick the bin, and user 2 also pick bin, user 2 3 pick bin first iteration. Second time you can observe bean 1, bean 1, bean 1. Third time
Bean 2,
bean 2, bean 3, bean 3. So this is for the story of the sequential each iteration. So everyone understand?
Okay, sir. Sir, where is the option, sir?
real time lo ela use అవుతుంది?
Yeah, real time how it will use means, for example, you have username password. That is application is unsecured application, means if it is login with the all users is same password also, no problem. See, for example, banking application is secured or unsecured?
Secured, sir.
Secured application means your username, your password only you only use, but this is
Separate.
that not case, because this is the sequential, nothing but every user has to pick the same password. So this is the situation based on unsecured application we can use for the sequential each iteration. Okay, and next
Yes.
random each iteration, and we can simulate, and 4 iteration, click on simulate. You can observe user 1 pick the bean 3 and user 2 is a bean 4, user 3 bean, user 4 bean 1. See, random nothing but user has to pick the randomly. User has to pick the randomly. Means any value, any value it is pick, because that is the random property. So each iteration also it is a pick for the same or different also it pick. You can observe. So
Sir, ఇది ఒకసారి
every
మళ్ళీ
iteration
చూపించండి
will
సార్
be
option.
different values picking, and it's a randomly picking. So you can observe Arun 1, 2, 3 is picked for the iteration 3. Again also Arun 1, 2, 3 is picked because it is a random property. It is a randomly automatically pick for the any of the value. This is also we can use for the only unsecured applications, not secured applications. It's clear?
సార్ ఆ ఆప్షన్ ఎట్లానో ఒకసారి మళ్ళీ చూపించారు. ఇప్పుడు డిఫరెంట్ గా తీసుకుంది కదా, ఎక్కడ అది స్టిమ్యులేట్ లో పారామీటర్
Simulates parameter, and after that you can give for the number of users 4 and number of iterations 4, and click on simulate button. So just our understanding point of view, how each iteration, how which value is picking, we understanding point of view, it is given for the simulate here. Okay, okay everyone?
ఓకే సార్.
Yeah, next will be unique each iteration. So unique nothing but every user has to pick the first unused data point. Every user has to pick the first unused data point. Each iteration nothing but every iteration user will be update for the values. We can simulate, otherwise we can show for the pane. You can see here. Okay, no about. Otherwise we'll take new one. Okay, so again I am taking for the username and password, and this is for the unique each iteration. Okay, we'll write for the unique each iteration. Unique each iteration.
Iteration.
So now we can observe, and again I am entering for the sum 1, 2, 3 and 4, and here I am entering for the some X is the password, some Y also one of the password, some Z and some M. Okay, so now unique stand for what is the unique? Nothing but every user has to pick the first unused data point. Actually, see, first user will be what? 1. So 1 is the what is the unused data point? Unused data point, no one will be used. So this is the no one will be used. So first user pick the first one. Already second user also there, but he will pick X. No, right?
No.
Just unused
Already
data
one
point
pick.
we need. What is the unused data point?
Y.
Y. So second user will pick the Y, and third user will pick the Z,
2.
and fourth user pick the this one. So this is the 1-to-1 mapping, means this is the secured application. Like your password, your username, your password, you need to log in means we need to use for the unique each iteration property. Most of the companies we are using for the maximum will be secured applications like insurance, like banking and healthcare domain. These all will be secure applications. So you need to use for the unique each unique property only. Got it? Unique, everyone?
Yeah, got it, sir.
Yeah. So like this, it will be picked for the based on for the number of users. Now we can observe and unique each iteration is completed. When you are select only unique only, it will be enable this property. So you can observe I select for the sequential. It is continue with last value only. It will be there. You can select a random. This is also will be there. But when you select for the unique property, we are able to see this continue with the last value will be there, and as same to the abort user will be there, and as same to the continue with cyclic manner will be there. So this is the when we can use means continue with last value means. So for example, here what is the last value? 4 and m. So you want to continue with the last value means you can continue with up to this only. Otherwise, you want for the one more option abort user. Abort user means after complete for the all users, you want to abort means after that execution stop means you can stop here only. And one more property, it is continue with cyclic manner. Cyclic manner means, for example, here 4m and one more n also will be there. And here we have the next user second iteration time. We have the some fifth user will be there. And what will happen? This, for example, fifth user here will be there. And here will be n and m will be there. Then what will happen? The fifth user will be continue with this n value. Means it is a cyclically it is picking. So because here, for example, here some a will be there. So continue with the cyclic value, what will happen? This is the first user, we have the unused data is the, this is the A. Got it? Hello? 1 minute. Sorry. Yeah. So that is the continue with the what cyclic manner means. It is a cyclically means it is a how the cyclic is means is for example our tire will be there, right? It is rotating from the same again. So that is the cyclic manner, and this is the properties only when you are selected for the unique only it is enabled. Clear, everyone? So going to the next one, sequential, and we have the each occurrence. And sequential, nothing but we know for the sequential. Every user has to pick the first data point. And occurrence means what will happen means every time will be users will be update for the values as a occurrence. And random, you can observe random nothing but it is a randomly pick any value, and occurrence means it will update for the every occurrence as a iteration type. And unique also, we have the unique occurrence also will be there, each occurrence. So occurrence also same value, it is a 1-to-1 mapping, but it will update for the every occurrence. So maximum we can't use for the occurrence property, because what will happen means every time you need for the some, you can click on simulate, it will be, you can observe, you can't simulate for the parameter where update value is on each occurrence. So that is why every time will be we need some update value. So that is why every time we don't have that much of data, right? So that is why we can't go with the occurrence, but you need to know for the what is the sequential occurrence and unique occurrence and random occurrence also you need to know. So it's clear. Then we can move for the next sequential ones. So sequential, nothing but what is the sequential? Anyone? We can simulate and we can see. Every user has to pick the first data point. See, for example, you can observe user 1 pick the bean and all users also pick the bean only. First iteration time. But here you can observe second iteration time also, first iteration time, what are the values we picked? Same it is picked for the second iteration, third iteration, fourth iteration, fifth, 100 or 200 or 1000 or nth iteration also pick for the same. That is the ones property. So clear, everyone? Once you sequential ones, and we need to see for the random ones. You can simulate and click on simulate. You can observe. See, this is the randomly iteration 1. What is the value is randomly picked 2, 3, 2, 3, again 3 also is picked. But you can observe one thing. Iteration 2 also, what are the values picked from the iteration 1? It will continue from the all iterations. Yes, right?
Yes.
So